for Act One, we talked about like this was your brainchild. This is before you were a household name. You funded it. You independently released it. And that album got a Juno nomination. I believe it's Best New Artist. What does it mean to you that your country on that project acknowledged basically your hard work and your gift and what you gave out into the world? That's a big deal, man. That's Canada's Grammys for our American listeners here, you know?
You don't have to tell me. I daydreamed about that my whole life. And I had visualized being there. I had visualized being at the Junos mentally. And when I was there, it was the same as my dream was. So it meant a lot to me, obviously, because it's Canada's biggest award show, but also just growing up listening to all these bands and artists and always wanting to do that. And then finally having a chance to be around sort of what's the pinnacle of, like, you know, the award. Even Much Music Video Awards was a really big deal for me. I think there's one in here, which is really cool. 7 nominations and finally got one.
Seven times the charm. It's funny story with so Finger 11, which ties in with you because Scott Anderson's on one of the songs. Finger 11, it was on their 7th Juno nomination. So they had already, Rainbow Butt Monkeys album. They put out Tip, Grace of Blue Skies, self-titled, and it was only at the peak of Paralyzer that they won their first Juno, 7 nominations later. So
that record was huge.
Yeah, globally, not just Canada.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I didn't win, and I never got re-nominated. So I was actually really angry because Act 2 I thought was a better record. And I thought it really showed off like this space between more sort of esoteric rock and accessibility at the same time, because it's still accessible. There's still melodies on it. It didn't get recognized, and then Act 3 didn't either. So I was really disappointed, and it made me really uncomfortable for a while to watch the Junos and to think that I wasn't recognized for 2, but I was for the first one. So I wonder if it had more to do with the sales than the content itself. But what I learned was it's an amazing feeling to be nominated for something on such a grand scale for this country that I grew up watching on TV. It's basically like one of the I've made it points to say, okay, now you can put Juno nominee in your resume. That was like a huge deal for me. So I'm really grateful for that. And it also gave me an opportunity to wrestle with the idea of competition personally, on how I feel about being judged against a fellow artist.